Welcome to Mirror TV. Here we are, week 7 of the high school football preview show, and I'm just stunned to be here. I don't know what happened. I thought Scott Franco was going to have a lifetime contract. He had a grand debut, once with me, once with you, Mike Boytim. Welcome back from your vacation. I'm just didn't think I'd be invited back. I thought Scotty was going to lock this in forever. I'm shocked that he didn't want this exposure. So you'll have to adjust to me.
I think we'll be fine. Scotty will probably be back.
At least you're not. I don't have an Illinois Cup here and all the other garb that he.
Yeah, no Dolphins Cup.
Yeah. Okay, let's start with the Saturday night game, kind of the biggest game locally of the weekend. You have Bishop Guilfoyle at 5-1 hosting Richland 6-0. Richland pounded Westmont, which pounded BG.
Right.
So, and I say most of the guys in our Fearless forecast, I think, pick Richland.
Yeah, Richland has scored at least 35 points in every game this year. They're averaging over 45 points a game. But BG's improved since that Westmont game. They have a lot of new starters, and they're finally coming together. Their defense is the top defense in our mirror coverage area, and they've just pitched a shutout against Penn Cambria last week, and they're gonna have to keep Richland off the scoreboard, not completely, but they're gonna have to keep it a little bit lower scoring if they're gonna be able to win that one.
I would think that would mean keeping Richland's offense. Richland's developed a few good quarterbacks these last few years.
Well, yeah, Brandon Bailey was the quarterback under his dad at Forest Hills, and Adam Cesari just broke all of Brandon's records this year. So
that game earlier this year, where Richland had its way with Forest Hills, so you had the son beating the dad. Was Brandon Bailey's obviously done a nice job, and from a great football pedigree with Don Bailey. Let's turn to Chestnut Ridge and Bedford, kind of a big game in Bedford County, and also the Laurel Highlands.
Yeah, and this is the first game they've met since 2015 because Ridge was obviously an independent for a long time there, and 6-0 versus 4-2. Now Bedford had a little bit of a stumble last week. They lost to Somerset. But
so that's an upset.
Yeah, it was an upset. I talked to Coach Steele, though, and he feels like they've put that behind them and they're ready. He said, both coaches said, they have family members that wear enemy colors, and this is as big of a rivalry in Bedford County as Tyrone Bellwood is and Altoona Hollidaysburg is in Blair County.
Yeah, I mean, Chestnut Ridge is coached by Max Shoemaker, who was the Bedford coach at one point. Altoona. Back home, coming off a nice win at Carlisle, I think that was somewhat of an upset, at least in terms of our forecast. But Altoona's 3-3. They're playing Central Dauphin, and it looks like Altoona had been on the road for 2 straight weeks and coming home 500. With a chance to, we'll see. Central Dauphin has a good team.
And they could have come home even better than that. They lost in overtime and they won one in overtime. But the most important thing, I believe, is that they're showing that they can compete in these mid-pen games. Every game, they've been in it. Yeah. Even the game they lost to Chambersburg, they scored 28 points. They are being competitive, and that is good to see.
They're also doing well on offense.
Yeah.
The Lawhead kid was our athlete of the week this week. Altoona's had a couple scary injuries these last couple weeks. It was good to see Mike, you wrote a nice story on the Stradiff kid, and I saw some video of him back at practice and addressing the team. So I hope we wish the Sinisi kid well.
Coach Felix said that he was expected to come home yesterday. So when I talked to him on Monday, so hopefully he's doing well.
Juniata Valley Claysburg. The Bulldogs are having one of their better years in a while at 5-1, and Valley beat Tussey Mountain, right?
Yeah, they knocked off Tussey Mountain, and the week before that they knocked off Southern Huntington, they'd both been undefeated. So Juniata Valley had a tough loss to open the season to Everett, and they lost to Bellwood. But other than that, they've played really well. And last year, Claysburg knocked off Juniata Valley down at in Alexandria, so the Hornets are going to be looking for some revenge this year.
You look at State College and Harrisburg, two powers. State College goes down there Saturday afternoon. Perfect timing for State College with Penn State open this week. Maybe a lot of the Penn State State College community that crosses over will get a chance to see that game in Harrisburg.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I wouldn't be surprised to see James Franklin at that one. Keaton Ellis has been having a great season, and it's a 1 o'clock game. So, if you want to see a great football game, it might be worth the trip down to Harrisburg, because those are going to be two exciting teams taking on. Harrisburg really got the best of State College last year, and State College has a really good team this year, and it should be an exciting game.
Yeah, Franklin was at the State College game Friday night. I do have to give him a lot of credit in terms of his recruiting and how he's really out there on Friday nights before home games, sometimes even traveling when Penn State is still at home. He'll go into the Pittsburgh area and recruit. So and that's another thing about the program in terms of its recruiting, about the Penn State program, obviously coming off a tough loss to Ohio State, which will be a whole separate program. Mike, any other tidbits you want to add?
Just you've seen you saw Hollidaysburg last week. They have not come out with the victories, but at 2-4, they've got to be one of the best 2-4 teams around, because they seem to be right there with these really good teams, and they're going up to Central Mountain. So Central Mountain winless, they should be able to maybe start getting some momentum toward the playoffs.
Yeah, when you look at who Hollidaysburg has played these last 4 games, their combined record is 18-4, including State College and Fort Hill, which are undefeated teams, and Cedar Cliff and McDowell. And Hollidaysburg was right there against McDowell. Just had a couple tough turnovers late in the game that hurt them. McDowell moved the ball. Both teams moved the ball. I'm impressed with Homer's Delatre's offense, having seen them a couple times this year. So anyway, okay, I did this all without flailing my arms, and so I'm not sure it wasn't quite as good as
fancy T-shirts.
I didn't wear a T-shirt. But anyway, for Mike Boytim and Scott Franco, who's going to click on a few times, I'm Neil Rudel saying thank you for watching, and hopefully Scotty will be back next week.